Hello, hello, hello. People are here. Hi. Ooh, let me just adjust my camera a tiny bit. Look away if you get vertigo. I just need to move my camera so I can... There we go, now I can read the screen. Where are my chat messages? Hello. Welcome back to those of you who were here this morning from my Patreon session, and good morning to those of you joining us. Hello Katie, hello lovely Q. Don't be afraid to say hi. I might miss you. But Tracy's here today, so we have modding capabilities. I believe, Tracy, if you... Well, this is how it works for me. If I... Hi Magda. I'm going to use... Yes, you've got a little spanner. So if you press on somebody's comment, you should be able to delete it or block them or whatever. We had a lot of problems with spammers last time. So those of you who speak foreign languages, Lisa will be in a bit, I'm sure. She speaks about 15 different languages and she was going, no, that's spam, that's spam, that's spam. You don't want to know what that is, that's spam. So, yeah, if you see anything in foreign, some of it wasn't. We had a couple of German girls in last week, and we had a Russian girl, and we had a Japanese girl who none of them speak English. They just came along to watch. The Russian girl has actually done a video as well for One Book July, which is awesome. So we're reaching out to foreign languages now, guys. We've already got Marianne Moll did one, I think, for what was she? Filipino, I think she did. Andrea did one in German. We've had a Spanish girl do one, and now we've got a Russian girl has done one. So now for connection wise, let me just get this out here. If you are seeing the red dot, you are watching live. If you are not that red dot, the one on your screen. If you're seeing the red dot, you're watching live. If you're not seeing the red dot, you need to go out and come back in again. You've been buffered into obscurity. If you are constantly seeing a little spinny wheel thing here saying buffering, that's your connection, not mine. Go out, come back in again. Because otherwise you'll get pushed into the recorded stuff. If it starts going pixelated, doing strange sound effects, or just cuts off completely, that's me. And I only have 40% battery. I only managed to charge my battery to 40%. I've got it plugged in now, so it shouldn't die. It shouldn't die. It shouldn't use charge faster than it charges up. It should still be at 40% when I stop. Let's put it that way. I've got a new sticker on my book. This is by Alex Yer. Let me see if I can get that to focus. You'll find her on... There we go. You'll find her on Instagram at Alex Yer Art. She did a giveaway. She had some of these stickers. Where are my others? I put them here for safekeeping. So it could be anywhere. She did a giveaway of these stickers, and she said the first like X many people will get a pack of stickers. Oh, here they are. And I was lucky enough to get one. So I've got a big one. It's 2 designs. I've got a big one, a medium, and a tiny one in this one. And I've got a large and a small in that one. Aren't they beautiful? She's such a good artist. She exclusively draws dogs and cats and animals in this style. And her output is like, she does like 1 or 2 a day. She's really prolific. And I believe this is actual size. I believe she works this size. But yeah, her work is stunning. So go check her out. That's her username again, at AlexYearArt. You'll find her on Instagram. I believe she's on Twitter as well. But she's a stunning artist. And she takes commissions. So if you're looking for a nice commission for Christmas, round about now is the time that a lot of artists are starting to take commissions for Christmas. So you might want to consider her. She's a very good artist. And she sent me a lovely note as well. She was real pleasure to talk to. She's lovely. So highly recommend her. One Book July. I'm not on camera today because honestly, 2 hours ago I rolled out of bed, sent Tracy a message that vaguely said, "Oh, I'm awake, coffee," and rolled onto YouTube to do my Patreon Crafternoon. Now, Sundays I don't work. This is not work for me. This is just, I'm doing what I do. But I thought, since I didn't get to do my update yesterday because I was doing my Patreon Q&A, I would just quickly include my One Book July update in this video. So, where am I up to? One Book July. Well, I'm still in one book. Not surprisingly. I'm actually quite a way through it. I'm not far off finishing this book. I might finish it by the end of the month. I'm doing my daily drawing practice. I'm not doing like a page a day or a thing a day as in particular. I'm doing something every day. Sometimes it's a lot, sometimes it's a little, sometimes it's a bit of colouring in, but every single day I've shown up and done something in here, except for 2 days earlier in the week when I was sick. When you're sick, and you've got to take self-care time, and that's okay, because, hey, I'm on holiday this month. I have to keep reminding myself of that. Welcome if you've just joined me. I'm just doing a quick update on my One Book July. So this is my journal. This is the Sea Whites of Brighton travel journal in the green. Now there are two versions. There's a big fly. Go away, fly. There's one that has a blue band. They come with like moleskin style bands. Everything comes with moleskin style bands these days, doesn't it? There's one with a blue band that is specifically for dry media. It takes fountain pen very well, and it takes pencil beautifully, and it's good for pastels and stuff like that. But it is specifically for dry media. So if you're like me and you like to use acrylics or watercolours or inks, you know, heavily wet media, you want the green band, which is this one. Now this one doesn't take wet watercolour. If you want to do proper watercolour, get yourself a watercolour moleskin. That's your best way to go. But this is really good for just about everything else. It's great for mixed media. Sorry if I jiggle the camera when I touch it to see the... You love my vid quality compared to other streamers. Well, it should be good. Oh, hello, Norfolk. It should be good because it's I've got the best Virgin Media connection that's available, apart from the business one, and my phone is streaming in 4K on data because I have unlimited data. Yay! Tracy is here today. Tracy is fielding for me. She's my admin. Say hello to Tracy. She's the one there with the little blue spanner. She is in charge of getting rid of spam. So if you see something in something foreign and it's spam, please let her know. If you need to ask a question and I've missed it, you can Facebook her. What is it? Tracy.fox.52. Facebook.com/Tracy.fox.52, I think. Hi Grace. Hi Suze. Yeah, you can contact Tracy if I miss your question, or if you think I should be 520, there you go. There's your link if you want to send her a message, if you want to ask a question, and she will field them for me and make sure. Obviously, you can type your question here as well, and if I see it, I see it. But if I miss it, copy it to Tracy and she'll repost it. Or just repost it yourself. Or she'll spam me and say, "Oi, answer that question." So I'll do a quick journal flip, shall I? Because I don't think I've done one yet for this one. I think I've done kind of a journal flip, but not a full one. So this is from May. So all of this is May, June, July. But obviously this is not the only book I use. Although I'm doing one book July, and I do use generally this one book. I do have a sketchbook. I do have a large format book. Hi Ellie. I have a small format book. I have my book of shadows. You know, I have lots of books that I use. But for right now, for July, I'm just using this one. Honestly, because I want to get to the end of it. I want to finish it up and start a new one in August. Because then I'll be on my 5th book for this year. So this was the beginning of May. It was Miss Maddie's birthday. She was 6. Like my quote. Remember when I asked for your opinion? Yeah, me neither. You'll see a lot of these collage elements and things and tabs. This sort of stuff, this is all, I'm sure a lot of you will recognise it. It's actually from Courtney Diaz, Little Raven Ink, from her Patreon collage sheets. I used quite a few of these. I went through a phase in May where I just suddenly wanted bright colours everywhere. I have no idea why I suddenly wanted bright colours everywhere, but I suddenly wanted bright colours everywhere. So I started using some of her collage sheets. I had some pages in a moleskin that was not holding up very well, so I decanted the couple of pages that were in it and put them into here. This is a quote from Drew Barrymore. I need to put the accreditation on it. I keep forgetting to do that. Why don't I do it now? My pen's running out. There we go. Is Tomo River paper all it's cracked up to be? Yes and no. Sorry, I had to have a drink there. Tomo River paper is beautiful. I love it. I love writing on it. It's very thin. It's very... Oh, it's beautiful. It's a dream to write on, especially if you use fountain pen. It takes a little bit of, you know, tinkering around with your ink because very, very wet fountain pens won't dry so fast. You have to wait. But they don't bleed. They ghost like crazy, but they don't bleed. But it's like using onion paper. It's absolutely beautiful. It is designed for fountain pen and dip pen calligraphy. If that's what you want it for and you primarily want to write in it, absolutely, yes, you'll love it. Go and get it. If you primarily want to write in fountain pen, absolutely, yes, you'll love it. Go and get it. If you want to do like the Hobonichi style, do little doodles and, you know, just use a ball pen or, you know, just use a little bit of like these light watercolour wash pens, or you want to illustrate, by illustrate I mean if you want to use like a black pen, black ink work and stuff like that, Absolutely, yes. They're wonderful. You'll get some show through on the back. Show through, but not, it's more like shadowing than ghosting, actually. It doesn't bleed. Obviously Copics bleed, because Copics bleed on everything but Copic paper. Or marker paper. But watercolour, generally, if you're not using too much water, yes, it'll work fine. If you want to use heavier media, by which I mean acrylic paint, or lots of water, or you want to do a lot of collage or something like that, or if you're, I think Courtney's found a way round it now, but initially she had trouble with tip-ins and things being too heavy for the paper, because the paper is literally, it's so flimsy. There's nothing to it. Absolutely nothing to it. You can imagine if you even put a paper clip on that, it goes like that. So if you want to put heavy stuff, or heavy media, or thick media, or a lot of water, don't bother. Get something like this. These are like £5 on Amazon. They take just about anything. They won't take a lot of watercolour, but you can watercolour on them. I'll show you in a minute. But if you want to do proper watercolour, get watercolour paper. If you just want to do little doodles and stuff and colour them in with watercolour pens and a little bit of watercolour and not much water, Tomo River paper will do, but it will crinkle. This is better for that kind of stuff, in my opinion. That's why I didn't get a Hobonichi, because I knew that this year I wanted to do a lot more painting and a lot more mixed media. It's not that I have anything against the Hobonichi. In fact, now I'm kind of halfway through the year and I ended up buying a Happy Planner, and I found I needed more tracking for my work. I actually wish that I had picked up the Techo, and I may pick it up when it comes out in September for next year. I may pick one up, because it's a lot easier to have one and sell it if you don't need it than it is to get it later on, because even the April ones have sold out now. So I hope that kind of answered your question. I love Hobonichi paper. I do. I have, I still use, I've got a couple of Hobonichi cousins that I never quite finished. And I still use them for taking notes and things like that. You know, anything that I want to keep. Kind of like a perpetual diary almost. But like the Nuna notebooks as well are the same. The paper is beautiful. It's German paper. Germans and Japanese know a lot about paper. But again, it's not sturdy enough to stand up to a lot of working. And Hobonichi paper in particular, the Tomo River paper in particular, is way too smooth for colour pencil. If you're a colour pencil fiend, don't go there. Because you'll find after like 2 or 3 layers, you cannot use the paper anymore. It just, even very light pencil work goes right through and leaves bumps on the back of the paper and leaves indents on the next 4 or 5 pages. So again, you're better off with something like a Moleskine sketchbook or something for that, which is also very smooth, but it won't indent quite so much. So these are just pages that I took out of. You'll see there's gaps. I do go rack and write in these gaps. A lot of them is just laziness, where I haven't actually got around to going back and filling it in yet. And they've all got little froggies on the top, so I know where they are. So whenever I want to go back and write something, I will go back and use that if that particular thing is appropriate. So for instance, if I went off later and did some journaling in a coffee shop and I just wanted to write, then I might use this page because it's coffee related and it's got a journal, and you know, I might do that. But I don't feel any need to keep it chronological. Everything in this book is May to July 2017. That's as much as I need to know. It's that 3-month period. Anything that is specifically date related, like Maddie's birthday, has a date on it. So I don't work chronologically, and I don't work one page after the other. That's coming loose and it's going to annoy me. Washi tape to the rescue. We love washi tape, yes we do. We use washi tape for fixing everything. Fix it with washi tape, washi tape, washi tape. There we go. So, just a bit of an inspiration page. I found a couple of bits and pieces about creativity that I liked. Another one that's actually, this background's not finished yet. I'm kind of working on reworking this, but it's one of those ones that I haven't come back to yet. Miss Maddie. Another piece that I can write on if I want to. Maher. Lovely photos. Wah! You want the Tomo River paper to make folk tales in your journal. Oh yeah, something like that. If you're going to write on it, perfect. Yeah. I would say writers go for Tomo River paper and artists go for something a bit more sturdy. I'm doing like repairs as I go here. Where's my glue? There it is. Let me just check my battery. My battery's going down. It's supposed to be going up. Oh dear. We might not make it to the full hour and a half. It depends how my battery does. I might have to charge it up and come back later. Hi Jude. Hi Laura. You have the artistic skill of a toad, but you're going to doodle in your planner anyway. Excellent. You can only get better from there. My charger is plugged in, but it's gone from 40% to 36% in the time I've been streaming. Night, Grace. Good night. Oh, yeah, she's Australian, isn't she? That confused me. This page I'm working on at the moment. Well, anything that's got this on is a page that I'm kind of in progress. I came to a halt with this one. I wasn't sure what to do with it next. I kind of want to do something around here, but I haven't decided what. I need to bring that black doodly type stuff down over here somewhere. Maybe some more writing. But this is just random bits of collage. This is Scooby, obviously. A photograph of Scooby. This is my friend and her dog. Photo that she sent me. An old map circa 1983 from Filofax. Hello Michigan. Oh, plugged in doesn't mean switched on. No, I don't think I'm that crazy. No, it's definitely switched on. It's yeah, it's got the little ziggy zag. It's Harry Pottered, so it's working. But yeah, good thinking. That would be the kind of thing I'd do, not switch it on. This whole piece here, under here, is from a Tisha Moore collage piece, but I really liked the swans. The rest of it's just acrylic paint. Oh, and this is from Sabrina Ward Harrison. She does these books that are basically pictures of her journals. And what I do is when I see one on Amazon that's a bit cheap, like £1.50 or something, or if I see one in a second-hand shop, I pick it up and I use it for collage. Oh, can't get it back in now. There we go. Same friend with her new puppy. This is just photos and stickers. It's more like a scrapbook page. Isn't that adorable? This was a Patreon page about worry dolls. He's got little interactive bits like letters and stuff. His letters come out and unfold and you can write on them. And then his parcel's got a little thingy in it as well. So that was a Patreon class that we did on worry dolls. A funny quote from Neil Gaiman. I think it's from Good Omens, I believe. Or it's either Good Omens or American Gods, I'm not sure which. But it says, honestly, if you're faced with the choice of Armageddon or tea, you don't ask what kind of tea. Life is short, art is long. Hippocrates. This was the great tee-off. Courtney Diaz and I, Little Raven Ink, on Instagram were both posting similar pictures at the same time of our tea. And she had this crazy unicorn mug, and I had my witch's brew. And I said, ha, I think I win. So she went and got her witch's brew mug out and went, no, I've got one of those too. So I pulled my Skull and Crossbones tea bag strainer out of my witch's brew and went, you haven't got one of these though, have you? So I won. I won the great tea off. And this is, so, funnily enough, this is one of her collage pieces with a deer person with a tea bag. More of, this was experimenting with kind of negative collage. Is that what they call it? I can't remember. The Merry Atelier, she does some of this. It's reverse collage, that's what she called it. Where you have collage elements and you put them down, but then you paint around them to get rid of stuff rather than pulling it out. And then funnily enough, a very similar but more advanced technique is in By Bun's class, which I'm doing. And then I figured out that instead of putting collage elements down, you could just take a book and work around the painted elements. So I've been playing with that kind of stuff and it's quite interesting. Another froggy page, which means I've got a place to write. I've got a little postcard thing that I wrote on and I can't find it. I've got a big yellow index card that I wrote on while I was sitting outside in the sun. And I wrote on it there, and I can't find it now, but it'll go on there when I find it. Scribbly girls. I've started keeping journaling cards next to my bed with a ballpoint pen, and I just scribble. June. This was from Flow magazine, I think. Yeah, Flow magazine. It's got sparkly glitter on all their cozies. I thought it was kind of cool. My moons and astrological correspondences. My horoscope. And then we're on to June proper. My puppy. Again, I've got a bit of writing. It's, you know, a box next to my bed, and I haven't got as far as going and getting it and sticking it in yet. Oh, Maddie's singing. I can hear you singing, baby. This was when I was getting my hair done. It was so hot in the salon. I don't know what it is with these people. They're also bloody cold around here. I couldn't breathe and I had to wait for like 40 minutes. And I said, if I just like put a towel over my head and sit outside, is that okay? I just sit outside the shop and I'll go and draw. So I started drawing the building opposite, but it wasn't going very well. I wasn't in the mood for it, but I got some of the details in. That's okay. These are the Blobbermores. These are, go and look up Carla Sondheim on her site. This is actually from one of her books, the Blobbermores thing. It's done with watercolours and pen. I actually did a session on this previously, but I can't remember if it was Patreon only or not. But if you go on her site, under her free tutorials, there's one on how to do these. They're really good fun, and you come up with all these weird and wonderful creatures. Got everything from a deer and a dog to the Lincoln Imp and a unicorn. And back again, and whatever the hell that is. And a slug monster. This is another work in progress. I want to come in and add some paint and kind of collage around the paint. But I can't decide what colour I want to do. I think, actually I just found one this morning that might work. Is this, oops, this sage colour. But then that might be a bit too green. I don't know if I need something a bit more neutral, or maybe a pink, like a blush colour to bring out her hair. I don't know. So I can't really decide what I want to do with it. But as soon as I do decide, I will get on with it. And if I finish this journal and move on to the next one, and I've got pages in this that aren't finished, I will leave it out on my desk. So if I feel like going back and doing any of them, then I will. I'll just stick tabs in. Like these are all, the little frogs are all pages that I can write on. They've got writing spaces specifically. But I'll just go through and put a different colour tab for pages that I've got artwork that's incomplete, that I kind of want to finish. Like this page, I want to finish it. I just don't know what to do with it yet. But one day I'll wake up and go, I know what to do with that. And off I'll go. To practice any art, no matter how well or badly, is a way to make your soul grow, so do it. Kurt Vonnegut. God, I'm knocking everything over today. And this was out of a local museum thing. It's The Transport of Delights by Keith Newstead, 2010. It's all, it's a sculpture. Sculpture? Is it a sculpture? Is it an assemblage? I don't know what they're called when they're metal. It's a metal thing though. Like, it's cool. June's astrology. This is some of the stuff that we do in Patreon, going through the astrological correspondences for the month. What's coming up? What's happening? My star girl. No reason, I just felt like drawing her. And then I didn't feel like colouring her in, so I coloured around her. It's another one of Courtney's pages, collage bits, using bits from her backgrounds and bits of scrapbook paper and stuff, and then drawing my own stuff onto it. I want to do some more with this. Again, I wanted to paint out some of the background, but I couldn't decide what I wanted to get rid of and what I wanted to keep. I'm fairly certain I want to get rid of these girls and this section, but I can't quite see it in my head yet for what I want to do with it. But it'll come to me. Again, one day I'll pick it up and I'll go, oh, I know what to do with that one. So Scooby. Watching telly. This one, I was just mark making. I was just experimenting with a brush that I had. And I just whipped out some acrylic paint and just started playing and making marks to see what marks I could get with the brush and what happened, and, you know, trying out blocks and stitches and crisscrosses and stuff like that. Another page with some writing space. Another page with some writing space. Again, this is a Courtney face. This is just acrylic paint and wash and bits of paper and collage, and I just like that picture of her sitting looking out the window. This was before I moved my desk to under the window where it is now, and there was something very calming and wistful about the way she was just sitting there with her feet up and her tea on a work break, looking out the window, enjoying the sunshine. And I just thought, yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want. When I take a break from work, I just want to be able to relax and look out the window watch my dogs playing, see the sunshine, you know, have some fresh air and all that kind of stuff. So I found that picture very inspiring, which is why I didn't do anything to it. I just stuck it in my book. This I found very intriguing. I want to do a reproduce it here as a value study, matching the colours. You've all gone very quiet, or am I missing things? No, you've just all gone very quiet. This was another Patreon page. We were doing positivity and wish fulfillment and, you know, that kind of stuff. Another unfinished one. I know where I'm going with this, I just haven't had a chance to finish it yet. I'm going to snuggle with your doggy. That's a good idea. That's what I should be doing later, having a snuggle with my doggy. And a bit of a nap. Oh, but first coffee. Cleaning on a Sunday. Ugh, no. Well, I don't clean any day of the week, really. This is all pen work, nearly. These were just out of a magazine. They were reproductions of Wind in the Willows stamps, I believe. This was a journal card. A stamp, like literally a postage stamp. This was a free printable. And the rest of it is all just pen work. And it was Harry Potter's 20th anniversary. I just noticed that. I'm a Potter nerd. Ravenclaw, yay. Need a nap. 6 months should do it. It's quite a popular one on my Instagram, that one. She's just been sitting there for ages. I couldn't decide what to do with her. My notebook book is inspiring. Oh, good, thank you. There's nothing to inspiration, you know. There really isn't. It's a question I get a lot. Where do you get your inspiration from? And my usual answer, it always sounds like sarcastic, but I don't mean it like that. How can you not be inspired? How can you look around you and not be inspired? For something, you know. I don't understand how anyone can sit there with a pencil in their hand and a piece of paper and say, I want to draw, but I don't know what to draw. If you want to draw, you will draw something. Draw what's in front of you. Draw what's in your head. Draw something that's completely made up. Draw an ugly painting. Draw an ugly drawing. That's what Laura is. I was talking to her on Facebook and she said she got completely stuck with the whole perfectionism thing. So she actually actively told herself she would have a journal full of ugly drawings. And she purposely sets out to make her drawings ugly. If you love something, you will be inspired. You know, I don't understand how people eat a different thing every day. You know, I could eat pretty much pasta and pizza for the rest of my life and I'd be quite happy. You know, throwing lasagna and a jacket potato every so often and I'm good. I don't understand where people get all these ideas of wild and wonderful things to eat, because none of it sounds appealing to me. But you have that creativity. You know, you might be one of those people who is quite happy to plan and shop and work out your menus, work out your meals, find your recipes. If that's what works for you, that's great. But apart from the odd day where you just think, you know what, I can't be bothered, let's just order in or let's go out to eat. Most of the time, it's not that you're not inspired. You have plenty of ideas. And it's the same for drawing. It's the same for journaling for me. I have plenty of ideas. I have more ideas than I know what to do with. If you are the kind of person who, like, my ideas just don't stop. I have so many ideas that I actually get to the point where I forget them. And I will come back to something, oh yeah, I remember. I meant to do such and such. But it's not that Sorry, I've got an alarm going off in the background and it's distracting me. It's not that I have no inspiration. Because when I have loads of ideas, I write them down. You know, if I'm in the middle of this page and I think, oh, I'd quite like to do a page on such and such, I'll flip to the back of my journal and I'll write it down. Do a page on this. Experiment with this. Play with... Oh, don't forget you've got a set of Caran d'Ache doo-doo things up there that you haven't used yet. You know, odd bits and pieces that pop up. And then I've got a whole list of things. So on days where usually when I wake up and I'm not quite with it, which is what my patrons experienced this morning. I hadn't quite woken up when I started talking to them. And I was pretty much on autopilot for about 20 minutes. When I'm in that autopilot thing, I either finish off something that's already started, or I go and look at my list and go, what do I fancy playing with? Oh, yeah, I've got that new pen I haven't played with yet. And I just pull it out and start making marks. Inspiration is overrated. Inspiration is everywhere. But if you have the passion for it and you want to do it, you will do it and you will find the time for it. Got on my soapbox again, didn't I? But, you know, what's stopping you? You can come up with as many excuses as you like. You know, oh, I've got to look after the kids, you know, mum's not well, oh, I don't feel well, I've got this, I've got that. You can make up any excuse you want, but at the end of the day, the only thing that's stopping you is you. Because if you really want to do it, you will do it. You will find time for it. You will fit it in. You know, if your mum is in hospital or in a care home or whatever, you will take your journal with you when you go to see her, and while she naps, you'll draw. Because that's what you want to do. And if you don't feel that passion for it, then perhaps that's not where your main interest lies, and you should take the pressure off yourself and say, you know, okay, it's fine. I'm not that passionate about it, so if I don't get the chance to draw today, I don't care. If I don't get the chance to journal today, it's not the end of the world. You know, you can't have it both ways. Either you're passionate about it and you want to do it, or you're not passionate about it and it's just kind of a thing that you pick up now and then. But you can't pick it up now and then, claiming you don't have time, and then not make the effort to make the time to do it, or not make the effort to keep those ideas, so that when you do want to sit down and create, but you don't know what to do, you know, you don't have a list of things to look at. You don't have a list of things to excite you. You don't have a half-finished page to come back to. There's a writer, I don't know if it might be Stephen King, actually. I don't know if it's Stephen King or somebody he quoted in his book on writing. But there is a writer who always left his last sentence of the day unfinished. Always. He would start a sentence, and even if he knew exactly how it was going to finish, he never finished it. He left it undone. And he'd put his pen down on the page so that the next day he'd come in, sit down, pick up his pen and continue the sentence. So he never had to think about what to write. He would just reread what he'd written and continue the sentence. So, oh, you studied to be a chef? Yeah, see, I don't enjoy cooking or experimenting. If I can't do it in a microwave, I'm not interested. I can do pasta in a microwave. I'm good at pasta. Lots of inspiration. But it's inspiring to see how others do things. Yes, I like seeing how others do things, because sometimes you get sort of stuck, and just somebody doing something a little bit different you'll go, ah, that's how I could finish that page, or ah, that's what could get me moving with that project or whatever. So yes, I totally agree with that. I spend a lot of time on YouTube. I watch more YouTube than I do TV, actually. Sometimes it helps to just do something different. Yes, even if you decide, oh, this is not for me, I absolutely hate it. Just doing something completely different to what you would normally do reminds you of what you love. And 5 minutes later, you go back to your favourite pen and say, no, I'm going to sit and write. I'm going to sit and draw. I'm going to sit and paint or whatever. I don't want to do that anymore. Not artistic drawing wise. Everybody's artistic drawing wise. It's just that if you haven't drawn since you were 10, expect to draw like a 10-year-old. If you don't want to draw, that's completely different. That doesn't mean you're not artistic. It just means you prefer to do other things. And if you're a musician, then that would explain it. Used to collage a lot. Yeah, see, now, collage is artistic, yeah. Your journal is very regimented and minimal. Ah. Well, if you like it like that, and that's what works for you, that's fine. There's no problem with that. If it's not working for you, get back to what you love. Go back and do some collage. Jazz, I'm sorry. I meant to buzz you. That's because my other phone's in the other room. Sorry, hun. I usually... That Courtney there is that Courtney there. Isn't she gorgeous? My lovely red-headed friend. She's not as gorgeous as her puppy. You know, the puppy wins there. But, you know. A pastry chef. Yeah, that's way out of my league. That's going into baking. I don't go there. You want to add an insert to your traveller's notebook and start doing more of this stuff? Yeah, go for it. That's the beauty of traveller's notebooks. You can have one that is very clean and regimented, and we should invite him round, yeah. So we do these art afternoon weekend things, and we all like pastries, John. So anytime you want to come. Yeah, the beauty of a traveller's notebook is you can have one book that is for your very regimented, clean, precise writing type stuff, or your planner or whatever, and then you can have another book that's just crazy colour and all sorts of artistic stuff and experimentation. Try making a sugar rose with gilded petals. No thanks. My mum can do that though. My mum makes beautiful stuff with sugar. Sugar sculpture. She was very good at it. So now we're coming up to, this is July now, we're coming up to, so this is getting towards the end of June. And always in the last 2 to 3 weeks of my journal, it starts getting sparser because I jump backwards and forwards in my journal. As you've seen, I've got pages from May that I haven't finished writing on yet. So as I go forward, it gets a little bit more sparse. But eventually I'll come back and finish these off and they'll be like this. Until I'm so far into my next journal that I'm like, yeah, I'm bored with this one now, and I just chuck it to one side and it's unfinished then. The journal is finished, but some pages will be not complete. Unfinished to me means I'm still intending to work on it. So this page is unfinished. If it's incomplete, then I got so far and I decided, yeah, I've had enough of that now and I'm not going to finish it. That's my distinction between the two. So unfinished, I intend to go back to it. Incomplete, I'm done with it, but the page isn't complete. There's no other way to explain it. I hope that makes sense. An art gangster. Take the pen, leave the cannoli. I'm about to do an insert like that too, just waiting on extra bands. Who needs extra bands? Just stick it in there anyway and put it in with the bands when you get to it. I'm just waiting for extra bands as an excuse. That's you putting it off until everything's perfect. Have at it. Jump on in there. Chuck it in. So yeah, sparseness happening now. These guys, I love these guys. These bears are so cute. Can't you just see them having a conversation? Like I see bubbles above their heads. Like, dude, do you see that? you know those the Captain Picard ones. Like, ooh, girl, those shoes with that top, that kind of thing, like a meme type thing. I just haven't decided what I want them to say yet, but again, it'll come to me eventually. Then we're on to July official. So this is one of my sketch pages. This is one of my... Every day in July, I'm showing up and sketching in my book. Even if I don't do all of it in one go, I turn up and I sketch. So this was a previous stream, all the pink and stickers. I just found loads of mushroom and bunny stickers, went, oh, I'll throw those at the page and see what sticks. And then I had all this space, so I just started drawing crazy mushrooms. There's not mushroom left. See what I did there? Yeah, I'll get my coat. This page, I don't know why she's in there, but she just fits the page, but I don't quite want to... I don't know if I want to draw her or stick her or what, but this page, I just like it as it is. This reminds me of beach days. That's a business card from Shop Dixie, I think. One of the jewellery shops. And she just goes with that page, so I just shoved her in there. I have no idea what I'm going to do with her, but she's there. Maybe I'll leave her in there and draw her on another page. My Moulin Rouge page, which you all saw last week. That's the reference picture for that. This is gouache. I've rediscovered gouache and I like it. Another sketch practice. This is for By Buns class because one of the things we need to do is draw hands. I can draw hands, I can draw realistic hands, but I wanted to draw stylized, illustrative hands that didn't look like hers. So I started off trying ones that looked like hers and then I kind of added bits and pieces to them. So this one's got fingernails, I've got one with tattoos, I've got, this one's hairy, this one's got a bone sticking out of it, this one's disjointed like a mannequin, you know, just playing around. None of them are good hands, but they don't have to be good, that's what a sketchbook's for. This is a collage, and I don't know if you can see, but see all the layers underneath? This face is not one face. It is the same model from the same photo shoot, but I used about 6 different pieces of, you know, this cheek with the hand, this part of the chin, her mouth is separate, her nose, this eye and this eye are from 2 different places, her head is from a different place, and I kind of composited it into a new photograph of her. So this photograph wasn't in the photo shoot, but it's all made out of photos from the photo shoot. It was a really interesting thing to do. I don't know if I'm going to add anything to it. I just black worked it so that I could, you know, cut out. Because she had black hair and a black background anyway, so I thought, well, I might as well just paint out the bits I don't want. I kind of think it might be good with either some silver to bring out her eyeshadows or some gold to bring out her pendant, or maybe both, like some metallic colours. Not sure. I'll think of something. This is another sketch page of for By Buns class. Again, we're drawing these spirit type things, so I tried some with... These are all drawn not with her faces. She uses a different construct for her faces, so they come out very long and thin. They're very stylised. I used my face construct, which is the 2 squares. This one I copied the hair that she did, and I didn't like it. there's something about that kind of hair with my figure that doesn't quite work. It looks really good on her stuff because of the way she draws her figures, but my figures are a little bit more realistic, so very slightly a little bit more realistic. Hers are very, very quirky and edgy, whereas mine aren't. So this kind of hair just didn't work. So I went back to my own style of hair and just playing with different things. I think I'm going to use this one first. I really like this one, and she fits with the background that I'm doing. That's my project. I'm working on By Bun's Spirit class, which you can find in our Etsy shop. This is my background so far, and I'm going to draw my spirit there. This one is going in there in a different format, but obviously I'm going to do her like the class. I'm not going to go too into this because that's the class, you know, but it's basically at the moment it's basically collage and acrylic paint, and I'm really enjoying it. It's one of the best classes I've ever done. I really like the fact that, you know, Bun is a qualified teacher, and she also teaches in person, and it really shows in the way she comes across on camera that she's used to teaching live. In here, for those of you who are patrons, you'll remember I've got a page in here that was exploring the swastika in the good side of the swastika. Because, you know, with my heritage, swastika's not good. And I was really trying to explore the good side of it to see if I could come to terms with the symbol. And I have 2 pages in here, like a full page spread like this, all about it, written in it. I've drawn about 7 different versions of it, and I absolutely hate the page. I didn't want to take it out of my journal because it's something that I need to work through, I think. So I think it's important to leave it in there. But I taped it up, because every time I looked through it, I was like, I really want to rip that page out. It brought up that much hatred for me. I just, ugh. It was making me angry just looking at it and seeing it there. So I taped it up, and now I don't have to see it. And I'm perfectly okay with that. I'm fine with it being there. I just don't have to look at it. This is a work in progress. I want to do some more of these tulipy type flowers up here, but sketch them in. I'm very into this, here's the collage and draw off the edge of it and finish off the picture kind of things. This is just an inspiring page of art and photographs. This is by, I can't remember the artist's name. It's by a contemporary artist. It's not Tom Bagshaw, it's... No, can't remember her name. I should write it on there, really. But she was in Mirror magazine, Legends. Coco Chanel, a bronze bust of Athena. Other bits and pieces that I pulled from a magazine that weren't attributed. This was a sketch page. Now this I did over 3 days. So a stargazer lily. Yeah, I might do that. Or a tiger lily. I like that idea. Paint the bears as McKellen and Stewart. That's cool. Yeah, I could see that with the 2 hats. I might do that. Yeah, this Belladonna page, I did the drawing in pen. I very rarely sketch in pencil, except just to figure out where a layout's going to be. So I think my pencil sketch for this consisted of blip, blip, big leaf, big leaf, big leaf. And that was about it. Drawn from a reference of the actual plant, not from an illustration. And I had laid down this paper, both by Bun in her class and in a recent vlog, and Mini Smalls, which is where I saw it first. have started using like one piece of coloured paper on a page just to break the page up and break up their drawing. And I thought, hey, what happens if you put more than one piece? And what happens if they're all different colours? So off I went. And then I decided to draw over the top. The next day I went in and painted it. And again, this is gouache and gel pen. And then the third day I went in and did the lettering. Because I'm a letterer. I do like doing lettering. And as far as I'm concerned, sketching practice includes lettering. Because it's hand-drawn. Then I've got, this is the Liquitex soft body muted colours. Oh, I hate to be a bandwagon jumper, but these colours, come on. How is any goth going to say no to that? They are beautiful, especially this grey. It doesn't show up on camera, but it's almost a very, very, very deep purple colour. And the violet is more of a pink, and then the pink is more of a burgundy. But this grey, oh, it's like very, very, very dark lavender grey, and it's, oh, I bought the set of the soft body. I've already ordered the grey and the violet ink, this one. And I've ordered the grey in the heavy body and another soft body of the grey because it's limited edition. And if I ever run out of that grey, I'm going to be heartbroken. This is another of those collage pieces that I finished off. This was from where I was cutting bits out to use as background. In fact, I think on the back of this is part of that girl, part of her. I think it was on the back of the page. And I didn't realise, because if I had realised I would have kept this because I love this piece. But hey ho, I can always buy a copy of the print from the artist. Poirot and the Murder of the Raven Girl, yeah. There is something very Poirot about it. I can't unsee it now. These pieces, this piece here, and this piece here, this piece is from over there originally, and this piece is the centerpiece of an oval. And it's called The Seven Ravens, and it's by Plaintiebee, Plantiebee, Christina Ridgway on... Come on, focus. 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 There we go. Nope. Come on, you can do it. There we go. That's her Instagram name. But her name is Christina Ridgway. She's an amazing artist. She does an awful lot in this colour palette. And yeah, that's all I had of it. So I thought, well, I'll just finish it off. So this again this is black tissue paper actually. I originally was going to paint it, but I had some black tissue paper, so I put it down with some gel medium. This is white. And some of the paint techniques I'm using on here I'm not going to explain because they're in By Bun's class. But basically I've got black and white and this blue turquoise colour from the Muted collection, which is absolutely stunning. I really just wanted to play with how it looked over black or white paint. But I used the techniques that we're learning in class to do this. And white gel pen, of course, as usual. This is, I don't know if this is a painting. Somebody said yesterday it looked very Vermeer. It's not a Vermeer, but it does have a Vermeer vibe to it. Oh, come on. Focus. Please focus. There we go. I don't know if it's a painting, because it's so small I can't tell. Or it could be a photograph of Natalie Portman. It does look like Natalie Portman. But this blue and this yellow together, and the light and shade, and the contrast and everything, and the way she stood. I just really liked it, so I just want to recreate that again. Practicing mood values and value and tone matching and colour matching and stuff. This is something I cut out of a magazine because I want to draw him for my sketch stuff. I've got a blank page there. Why have I got a blank page? Oh, because of what's on the other side. This was another of my sketch practices. This is Cora. It's vintage or tacky. I absolutely love drawing her. She's so fabulous. She always looks so put together. And I love that she's one of the bigger girls. I don't know what the PC term... She just says she's fat. And good for her. She's one of the Fat and Fabulous YouTubers. And I absolutely adore her. I love drawing her. Because she's so colourful and so bright. And she's got so many different styles. And she does like... modern styles and cosplay and, you know, antique styles. She's done steampunk, she's done flapper girl, she's done Edwardian, she's done all sorts, and she's a really good makeup artist, so I really enjoy drawing her. But I haven't put anything on the back of it yet, because what I want to do is cut this out and scan it. I don't scan things while they're in my book, because it makes for a very bumpy surface. I cut them out. So I don't cut them at the spine. I would cut it out sort of along this line here. And then put it flat on the scanner. Scan it. And then paste it back in with a bit of washi tape or something. Or glue it onto the flap that was left. And then I can work on the back of it. The other thing is this is a different type of medium than I'm used to. This is done with these, which are the Talon's Ecoline brush pens, which is water-soluble ink. So they're kind of like a pen version of the Inktense pencils. They're really nice. They're very, very highly pigmented. But I don't know, if I get this wet on the back, will it bleed? Will it mess this up? Will it move the colour? Will it blot the colour across onto this page? You know, I don't really know how that's going to react. So until I've scanned this, I don't want to use the back page. Once I've scanned it and I've got a digital copy, I'm good. You know, if I mess it up, I mess it up. But I want to get a digital copy of it first. And then this is what I was working on. I started it last night and I've been working on it this morning with my patrons. And I just had that clipped on there because, again, with these being water soluble and having not used them before, I don't know how easily they will move about with my sweaty mitts all over them. So because I tend to rest my hand there, again, until I've scanned that, I don't want to mess it up. So I just put that over there because this is another one I'm going to sketch at some point, these poppies. So there you go. I'm going to have some coffee now. So that's my One Book July update, my journal flip from May to July. My sketchbook is going well. Patrons, I have a before, during and after of this for you. And I also have for my colouring club, I have the original ink lines. So if you want to colour her in as well or whatever, I've got, you know, Cora's okay with me giving that to you to use. And obviously you'll get a copy of this as well. My patrons are getting copies of, like, printable copies of all my sketch stuff for the month. Because technically I'm on holiday, so I'm not teaching on Patreon. But, you know, they've paid money and I can't afford to miss a month. So while I'm on holiday, I'm just, you know, giving them mini vlogs on my studio updates and how that's going, my revamp, which is going very well so far. I would say I'm about halfway through now. I've got... Oh, you off, Mandy? Thank you. We're going to be finishing soon anyway, so you've just got about 20 minutes to catch up on later if you want to watch it later. Yeah, my art desk is set up. My computer desk is set up. I have another area around my sofa that is set up but not tidied up. The next job, I've got to finish clearing off the chair today by moving my books into the other room, and then I can move the chair, and once the chair is moved, everything else can go in boxes, and I can just pick up a box every day and go through it. So, and then it's just a case of chucking, recycling, giving it to Tracy, or putting it on a shelf somewhere. But yeah, if you're interested in any of that, my patrons are getting all those as vlogs. That's why there's no weekly vlog this month, because I'm on holiday. Doing weekly vlogs and a daily vlog when you're on holiday is enough. Yeah, if you're one of those people who likes to get rid of things because you like to have space, excuse me, but you don't want to get rid of things because you don't want to get rid of things, find a friend who likes to keep things, who wants to play with things, who doesn't have as much stuff as you do, and who wants to play with all this stuff, but who lives close enough that you can say, can I borrow that back for a day or two? It works with books, it works with art supplies, everything. It works great. So the principle for this is, again, this is sketch practice for By Bun's class. One of the things we do is drawing these spirit guide things, but they have things in their hands. I'm not telling you anything that's not common knowledge on this. It's part of, it's in the advertisement for the class. If I remember this time, I will put the link down below to her video on her thing. She actually talks you through the class and shows you what you can do and stuff. So she's got things like these spirit guides holding skulls and stuff. And that's all part of the promotion for the class that she does anyway. So I just wanted to do loads of little witchy tchotchke type things. Just, you know, and then it turned into a bookshelf. And then it got more and more complicated as it went on. And then I had a yellow stain here. You can't even really see it anymore. There's a yellow stain in the middle there where when I coloured this in, it stayed wet. And when I closed my book, it blotched onto the other side. And was it Jackie? I don't know who it was who suggested it. I saw the suggestion, but I didn't see the name. I think it might have been Jackie. Said, oh, why don't you make a break in the plaster at the back so that, you know, you can see a bit of the brick wall showing through or something, because we've already got the shelf hanging off. So, yeah, I ended up doing that, and now you can hardly see that big splodge there. So, I was talking earlier to my patrons about, I keep saying Patreons, I cannot get that right. Patrons on Patreon. You know who I mean. I was talking in the Patreon session this morning about the difference between fine art and illustrative art. Illustration is telling a story. It's illustrating something. If you say something is illustrated, it means it has pictures that explain what's going on. An illustrated book has pictures. It probably has words as well, but it has pictures that explain what's going on. So an illustration is nearly always linked to some kind of a story, whereas fine art doesn't necessarily tell a story. Sometimes it just captures a moment. So I can't even think of one offhand. Famous paintings. I'm not very good with classical paintings. No, I don't have any. But there's like epic battles and stuff like that. It captures a moment. Oh, no, I can't remember who it's by. Liberty. Liberty on top of the, with the French flag on top of the barricades. Capturing that moment of Vive la Révolution. Excuse my horrendous French. But that's the, you know, today we fight. Hurrah! that moment. It doesn't tell the story of the revolution. It doesn't tell you anything about it. It doesn't tell you who was involved or why it happened or anything. It doesn't even tell you when it happened, except for you can see from their clothing. You could guess when it was. But you can see that it is capturing that moment of, yeah, let's all get out there and fight for our rights. And whereas this tells a story. This tells the story of the person who owns this bookcase. I don't think we could deny that she's probably a witch, with her witchy relatives in the photo frame and her black cat. He will be black. And her skulls and her crystal balls and things. What else did we say about her? Oh, she's careful because she's got all her poison stuff on the top shelf and all her breakables up where the cat can't get at them. But she's also comfortable with, you know, toxic stuff and things like that because, you know, she's got toxic stuff and drink me next to each other and jellied eyeballs and cookie jars all together. We assumed it was female because there's like rings and jewellery and stuff like that. Sentimentality with the pictures. We've got joss sticks and things. We've got what's in the box. Somebody who's kept a secret, or perhaps is working a spell that needs to be set in a box. How do we know that? Because it's a locked box and it's got a cobweb on it. So that box hasn't been moved for a while. There's something in there. What's in there? That's intriguing. Worn down candle and some matches. Somebody who's prepared for things. Doesn't just have candles lying around. She knows where her matches are as well, unlike me. Okay with creatures, and not always necessarily creatures that everybody is okay with. So she's got a little friendly spider. She hasn't moved him. A couple of little mice here, rats. Her cat. She's got a spell book and a hex book and a little mama goddess type character here and a shrunken head and a skull. You know. She's okay with death and hexes and that kind of stuff. So, her cat likes to get into trouble. As you can see, there's a screw coming out. I drew now this was fixing a mistake, as people call it, fixing a mistake. I drew the shelves, but then this one went completely wonky because I had it at an angle. And I was looking through the viewfinder. So to me, when I was looking through the viewfinder, and if you look at it on camera, it probably looks straight. But then when you turn it right, it's actually nowhere near straight. It's about 1/4 inch out. So I thought, well, what can I do with that? Oh, no. I decided there was going to be a cat here anyway. So maybe the cat jumping up on the shelf was, you know, causing this to cause a problem, and oh, let's make the bracket loose and put in a little screw coming down. Again, it's telling a story. So that was that. And what I planned to do, actually I was going to do it in this session, but as usual I talk too much. I'm going to do a little... Hi baby. Are you bored? I'm going to do a little wooden chest type thing here, I think. Let's do something like that. Maybe a cupboard. Yes, I'm going straight in with pen. I did the straight lines just so that I could reconfigure that, but as you see I still went slightly off with it, but I'm going to fix that. If you go in with pen, you have to be quite confident, about putting your lines down. And you have to learn how to cover up mistakes. There's no such thing as a drawing with a mistake in it. It's just a drawing you haven't finished yet. Oh, chat. Trying to clean the yellow stain off your screen. No, it's on my book, honey. Hi, Amber. She doesn't like cookies because they're on the top shelf. No, I think she likes cookies and she doesn't want the cat to get into them. Have you never owned a cat, Jackie? What kind of pen am I using for that? Just an ordinary, this is just a uni pin fine liner. And the black colouring in was done with a Pentel pocket brush. But this is refilled with Parker Quink ink. It's waterproof black fountain pen ink. When your cartridges run out, don't buy the cartridges again. They're expensive. It's ridiculous. And you go through them so fast. Just buy a bottle of fountain pen friendly black ink. And, you know, it's up to you whether you want it waterproof or not waterproof. I like waterproof. So something like Noodler's Black or Quink or, you know, any waterproof black fountain pen ink so it doesn't clog and you can refill your cartridges. You just get a syringe type thing and refill your cartridges with it. You'll never have to buy cartridges again, and it's way cheaper because one set of these cartridges, one set of 4 cartridges is the same price as a bottle of Quink ink, and that bottle of Quink ink I've had for about 3 years now. I use it all the time. My fountain pen is filled with it. That's now filled with it. It's really easy. I do suggest though that you, if you're going to swap inks rather than just using the same one all the time, if you suddenly decide to change inks, is to give the whole thing a good wash through. You're not really supposed to mix inks in fountain pens. I'm not entirely sure why, but Brian from Goulet Pens says don't mix inks. Always wash your fountain pen between different brands of ink. So that's what we do, because Brian says. And Brian is the guru when it comes to fountain pens. I don't need to know why. He knows more than I do. So, yeah, anyway. Wash your pocket brush through and leave it to dry overnight if you swap the ink. But yeah, I like these for colouring and heavy brush line work and stuff like that. I've been doing, like, all those hands, they were all drawn with that. All of these were drawn with the brush pen. Perhaps she does like cookies and that's why they're on the top shelf. Exactly. Maybe she's on a diet. Or maybe she just wants to put it up there so people think the cookie jar's empty so she doesn't have to share. An Edward Gorey drawing. Edward Gorey, that name sounds familiar. Where do I know him from? Edward Gorey, Edward Gorey. I know that name. Maybe she has kids. Yeah. Maybe she's got kids and the kids can't reach up there. Exactly. Maybe it's not full of cookies. Maybe it's got her chocolate stash in it. Edward Gorey. Edward Gorey. I know that name. Where do I know that name from? I hate it when names come and... I can even see his drawings. I can see his illustrations and things. I cannot think of his name. No, I know his name. I can think of his name. I can't think of what he does. I think this needs tassels on it. That's better. Masterpiece, that's what he does. He's the guy who does Masterpiece Theatre, isn't he? Is he? Yeah, I'm sure he is. I like, oh my God, Chris Riddle. He's very good. He does like, he draws people, but he draws them in this kind of style. I like Dame Darcy, who is very much this kind of style. And I absolutely adore Chris Mould. He does the, the Pirates, the Pocket Pirates. That's right. They're all very similar styles. I absolutely love his drawings in particular because he draws with a ballpoint pen, which is what I normally draw with. I'm not fancy about what pens I use. I just pick up a black pen. I happen to have a set of these. I happen to like them. They happen to be quite good. But I'm just as happy drawing with a cheap old Bic ballpoint. Edward Gorey. Yeah, he drew the Circus Freaks, didn't he? Chat, catch up on chat, catch up on chat. Edward Gorey. Maybe they're not cookies, they just say that to lure you in. They could be like pickled toads or something. Oh dear, John's going for a nap. Bye, John. I had a nap earlier in between sessions. It's nothing like a good nap. Masterpiece Theatre, there we go. Yeah, okay. A stash of Reese minis in the frozen peas bag. Oh dear, the things we do. Vintage ladies with beards, yes. That's what I was, yes, that's what I was thinking of. They're kind of the style of the Gibson Girls almost. But they're all circus freaks, aren't they? Bic ball pens, absolutely. I actually like my all-time favourite ball pen, which I can't actually find. I've put it down somewhere and I don't know where I've put it. It's probably on the sofa somewhere. Is actually the Papermate Sticks. Way back, way back in the 90s. They made these things called Papermate Stick 2020s, and they were the ones with the grey barrel, not the black barrel. Super fine pens, absolutely gorgeous. I love Papermates because, as the adverts used to say in the 70s, they write even upside down. So if you are, like me, and a fan of drawing in bed while propping your book up in front of you, you can write still without your pen running out of ink. But yeah, I can't find them anywhere. I can find the medium ones on Amazon, but I can't find the super fine ones. I think they've stopped doing them. So I'm a bit gutted. And almost everything is Inkjoy, so I think the 2020 sticks that I used to buy are gone. They've also got rid of the Bic soft gels. The Bic soft gel sticks. You can't get them anymore. Honestly, you find a really good pen that's really comfortable to hold. You can draw with it for hours and hours and hours, and it doesn't clog and it doesn't blot and it doesn't do anything. It just works. And what do? They redesign it. And say, oh yes, well, you know what, we're going to redesign it and make it better than ever, and then they bring out something completely new, like the Inkjoys, which I don't like. I don't like the Inkjoys. I can't control them. They slip and slide all over the paper. And I know that that's the selling point. Oh, so smooth, they glide across the paper. But I don't like that. I like a bit of friction on my pens. And yes, for those who were about to say it, I do use friction pens. I use those in my planner and my note-taking and all sorts. I love friction pens. They're the best things ever invented. However, if you're going to use a friction pen, don't use a friction highlighter with it. Because when you take off the highlighter, you erase what's underneath as well. Yeah, I learnt that the hard way. You'd think it would be obvious, but no. This is one of my favourite techniques for getting a quirky kind of look on an illustration, is to do the line work and then go back round it and allow it to go outside the lines so that you get this really kind of rough, uneven edge, and then just fill it in. And it looks like you meant it to be like that, but it looks really kind of quirky and strange. That's my top tip for you today. Oh, I just got the low battery warning on my phone. Would you believe my phone is plugged in and charging? And streaming on YouTube is using up more energy than it is going back into it. Going back into the phone. I need some ornate handles, so I shall do something with those. And I think I might turn this into kind of a... Maybe she'll have like a shrine. Maybe we'll have... Got a few things missing that she could do with having, like maybe a couple of tarot cards and some crystals. Maybe one of those geode type things. We could have an incense stick burning. We could have a couple of tall candles or a couple of tea lights. A voodoo doll, maybe. A clock, yep. We could put a clock or a fancy candlestick. See, these are good ideas, aren't they? Your mum had them when they lived in Germany and constantly took them to draw. The ballpoints, yeah. Need to feel the contact between the pen and the paper, yeah. I don't like anything that slides out of my control at all. Not purchasing Inkjoy again. You don't like Inkjoy either. The fine point black pens are like they are the gods of pens. They just... I usually have about 50 of them hanging around. And of course today I can't find any. Seriously, where are all my ballpoints? I buy them in packs of 20 and 25 from Amazon. A clock. Oh, her hat! Yes! Oh, yes, we could have... Let's do it like this. So we've got a little bit of a... Maybe it could be hanging off the end there. Maybe coming up. Like that. Maybe it's kind of folded over. Like that. It's going to be black anyway, so we can fudge the outline a bit. So this needs to be solid black, because otherwise we'll see the table through it, won't we? And when you're working and doing black work, don't forget about a white pen. You can always go back with a white pen and do details, or even a white pencil. I'm going to use a black pencil for the cat, because obviously if I fill him in with black pen, we're not going to see his details. But if I fill him in with black pencil, you'll be able to see the pen underneath. I may even go for a very, very, very dark grey and then do some shadows in black, so he looks kind of black. Or give him a little bit of blue, or very, very dark blue or purple, because black cats very rarely look completely black. For a nice sharp point on the end, shall we? Maybe we could put a bit of a buckle, right? So now I can't fill those in with black, solid black. So what I'll do with these is I'll use cross hatching for this bit, because that will show that it's reflecting the light a little bit. So it could be like a satin band or maybe a leather band or something like that. It's something different kind of material. And then under here, instead of doing a solid black, I'll cross hatch it, which will give the impression of a bit of texture and make it dark, but at the same time it will be different to what's going on top. So you'll be able to see the difference between the two. Like that. I think this side could do with being a little bit darker, so we'll do a cross hatch that way as well. Maybe a little bit darker again. So go this way. Now it's getting darker, there we go. And can use a white pen for like carving bits out as well, covering up lines that have maybe ended up in there that you didn't want. Like this bit, I accidentally coloured in her buckle, so I can go back over that, white it out. So now I feel like this could do with just a little bit more dark, and not that dark. Let's use a thinner pen. When in doubt, change nibs or pens. There we go. Bit of shadow on the buckle. Excellent. Good idea, whoever said that. Right, we've overrun by 10 minutes, but I'm going to have to stop there because my battery is going to die any minute. The class I'm taking, oh, it's by Bun. You'll find her on YouTube as Made by Bun. It's Roxanne Coble, but her Etsy shop is by Bun. I will write down to put her link in the description because I forget to do this. Uniball Pen Air, the these, yeah, these are all right. They're interesting. I'm not overly taken with them. They've got like a, they're supposed to write like a fountain pen and a rollerball. Maybe I just haven't had a lot of practice with them, but I find them a bit difficult. They're way too chunky for me to write with. Oops, sorry. I'm a 0.3 mechanical or 0.3 G-Tech kind of girl. Super fine pens, but they should be okay to draw with, but I can't get it to work the way I want it to. I may need to practice with it. Okay. Oh, yep. All right then. Thanks very much for joining me, and I will definitely see you again next week for my One Book July week 3 update. Hopefully I will have done a bit more. This will be finished off, obviously. My patrons will be getting a copy of this once I've finished it. I've done a lot of this today, so I might leave it to finish it till tomorrow. So it'll be another 3-dayer. Don't think that you do all of this in one day. It very rarely happens. And you'll also be getting a copy of my Cora. And I've got a line sketch for the coffee club. So if you want to colour it in yourself, you can. Or copy my colours, whatever you want to do. Maddie, whatever you're eating, stop it. Oi! Thank you. So yeah, next week I'll probably do the week 3 update live again. But it will probably be... I'm urban sketching on the Saturday, so it might have to be the Sunday, but if it is, it'll be the Sunday afternoon. Or I might do it Friday night. I don't know. One of them. At some point I'll come on and do it. And if you haven't seen all the other videos, there are over 180 videos in the One Book July playlist so far. So if you're looking for something to watch, go and check it out. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.